Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
So we're here just literally along the Potomac. Probably, if we're lucky while we're reading, there'll be a train that goes across the bridge there, but maybe not. You never know what'll happen. And we came down to a very secluded place. I forced Bhava Bhakti to climb down some steep cliffs. We thought we'd kind of, just be here and that'd be it. But here you go. So we're here to read the Bhagavatam.
We've got a whole crowd.
So where are we?
Canto 4, Chapter 7, Text 7.
Put that closer to you.
Canto 4, Chapter 7, Text 7.
You want me to clip it on?
Oh dear. Carry on moving. Alright.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Right, text 7. Thereafter, Bhrigu, the chief of the...
It's alright.
Thereafter, Bhrigu, the chief of the great sages, invited Lord Shiva to come to the sacrificial arena. Thus the demigods, accompanied by the sages, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, all went to the place where the great sacrifice was being performed. Purport. The whole sacrifice arranged by King Daksha had been disturbed by Lord Shiva. Therefore, all the demigods present there, along with Lord Brahma and the great sages, specifically requested Lord Shiva to come and revive the sacrificial fire. There is a common phrase, Shiva Hina Yagya. Any sacrifice without the presence of Lord Shiva is baffled. Lord Vishnu is Yagneshwara, the Supreme Personality in the matter of sacrifice. Yet in each yagya, it is necessary for all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva to be present.
Use it, Shiva Hina Yagya.
Yeah, that means any sacrifice without the presence of
Shiva.
Lord Shiva is baffled. Yeah, so they've invited Lord Shiva back now because they need him to complete a sacrifice. So I'm wondering if they didn't need him, if they would have gone to him and tried to appease him. Because that's how it comes across. It's like, look, you didn't take your share, we didn't get our share because you weren't there to make the circle whole, as it were. So you got to go back. And then, as Prabhupada says, Shiva's needed there because any sacrifice without him is baffled. So it's interesting,
Seems that the phrase Shiva Hina Yagya, be careful, Shiva Hina Yagya may have been post this event because, they realized that any yagya without the presence of Lord Shiva will be baffled.
Yeah, not be auspicious.
Yeah, or worse yet, be completely annihilated and destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh, lady.
Okay. Text 8.
After everything was executed exactly as directed by Lord Shiva, Daksha's body was joined to the head of the animal meant to be killed in the sacrifice. God. This time, all the demigods and great sages were very careful not to irritate Lord Shiva. Therefore, whatever he asked was done. It is specifically said here that Daksha's body was joined to the head of an animal, a goat.
Sounds so gross.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very auspicious, but at the same time, I guess the idea is that Lord Shiva is sorting out Daksha and in some level of recompense, but he's still going to wind up with the head of a goat, which I think is a picture in here somewhere, right?
Well, I don't know.
There's the picture of Daksha with the head of a goat. Must be after that, because they usually come in some sort of order. No. Goes to Dhruva. I'm sure it's somewhere.
Maybe not in this one.
Yeah, I've seen it before. Okay.
Alright, text 9.
Mm-hmm.
When the animal's head was fixed on the body of King Daksha, Daksha was immediately brought to consciousness, and as he awakened from sleep, the king saw Lord Shiva standing before him. Purport. The example given here is that Daksha got up as if he were awakened from deep sleep. In Sanskrit, this is called Sapta Ivatastu. The meaning is that after a man awakens from sleep, he immediately remembers all the duties which he must execute. Daksha was killed and his head was taken away and burned to ashes. His body was lying dead, but by the grace of Lord Shiva, as soon as the head of a goat was joined to the body, Daksha came back to consciousness again. This indicates that consciousness is also individual. Daksha actually took another body when he took on the head of a goat. But because consciousness is individual, his consciousness remained the same, although his bodily condition changed. Thus, bodily construction has nothing to do with the development of consciousness. Consciousness is carried with the transmigration of the soul. There are many instances of this in Vedic history, such as the case of Maharaj Bharat. After quitting his body as a king, Maharaj Bharat was transferred to the body of a deer, but he retained the same consciousness. He knew that although formerly he was King Bharat, he had been transferred to the body of a deer because of his absorption in thinking of a deer at the time of his death. In spite of his having the body of a deer, however, his consciousness was as good as it was in the body of King Bharat. The arrangement by the Lord is so nice that if a person's consciousness is turned into Krishna consciousness, there is no doubt that in his next life he will be a great devotee of Krishna, even if he is offered a different type of body.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I was just thinking of when people do like heart transplants or other transplants. Do they do brain transplants?
I don't know if they do a brain transplant as of yet, because I think they still believe that somehow the identity is in the brain, which Prabhupada addressed earlier, saying that it isn't.
But they do heart transplants. And
Heart,
lung,
liver, lung,
but still you are who you are. You still wake up as you, I believe.
Well, sometimes after a blood transfusion, we were talking about this, right? Sometimes people take on little bits of characteristics of other people.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
I did.
Yeah.
Became a new woman.
You didn't really like salads, and the first thing you wanted after you had a surgery was like, I want some nice leafy salad.
I've never stopped eating it.
Yeah, since.
I'm a new woman. I don't know who that person was.
Wow. Yeah. It's not all new. I think that would defeat what's being said here. Just because you got a little blood, you're like a whole new person. And the soul's in the blood, and the other soul got flushed out or something. But it's interesting, Prabhupada makes the point at the end, connecting with Bhagavad Gita and saying that basically, that if you don't achieve perfection in this life, then at the end, your consciousness will carry over to a new body, and so at least you'll be able to begin again in the next, so otherwise it's also interesting here because Daksha's obviously been laying dead with his head burned to ashes, body dead, for quite some time, but somehow, once they affix the head of the goat to the body, I guess by the mystic power of Lord Shiva, he brings that soul back into that body. So, anyway, Lord Shiva can probably do whatever he likes, I guess. My turn? Text 10? At that time, when Daksha saw Lord Shiva, who rides upon a bull. Oh, I forgot also in the last thing, there was a term for when a man wakes up and he remembers Supta Evotashtao. The meaning, after a man wakes up from sleep, and often what happens is, at least I find this sometimes, if I manage to get a nap sometime in the afternoon, and you just go to sleep. You wake up like, oh my God, what's going on? Where am I?
Yeah, you always do that.
And immediately I realize, oh my God, I got this, I got that. Anyway, text 10. At that time, when Daksha saw Lord Shiva, who rides upon a bull, his heart, which was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva, was immediately cleansed, just as the water of a lake or a river is cleansed by autumn rains. Lord, have mercy. Purport. Here is an example of why Lord Shiva is called auspicious. If anyone sees Lord Shiva with devotion and reverence, his heart is immediately cleansed. King Daksha was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva, and yet by seeing him with a little love and devotion, his heart immediately became cleansed. In the rainy season, the reservoirs of water become dirty and muddy, but as soon as the autumn rain comes, all the water immediately becomes clear and transparent. Similarly, although Daksha's heart was impure because of his having slandered Lord Shiva, for which he was severely punished, Daksha now came to consciousness, and just by seeing Lord Shiva with veneration and respect, he became immediately purified. So it's an important point, because it's not just seeing Lord Shiva, because Daksha was seeing Lord Shiva before, and that's, and it didn't purify him. So it's interesting, because you have to see, but it's not about what the eyes see, it's about the consciousness behind it. So you have to see with a little love and devotion, then you can become purified. Otherwise, you may see, but not get the results. So just like these people here who are standing, who seem to come down the hill behind us and join us on the rock, they may or may not be hearing. Of course, I don't think they speak much English. But if they hear with a little love and devotion, then they will get purified. That's the ticket right there. You can see people, probably you can see floating down this river on these inner tubes, something like that. Okay. About little guy, he's doing flies. Just 11.
Let me continue.
Yeah, maybe just read to the next purport.
Text 11. King Daksha wanted to offer prayers to Lord Shiva, but as he remembered the ill-fated death of his daughter Sati, his eyes filled with tears, and in bereavement his voice choked up, and he could not say anything. Text 12. At this time, King Daksha, afflicted by love and affection, was very much awakened to his real senses. With great endeavour, he pacified his mind, checked his feelings, and with pure consciousness began to offer prayers to Lord Shiva. Text 13. King Daksha said, "My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offence against you, but you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favour by punishing me. You and Lord Vishnu never neglect even useless, unqualified brahmanas. Why then should you neglect me, who am engaged in performing sacrifices?" Although Daksha felt defeated, he knew that his punishment was simply the great mercy of Lord Shiva. He remembered that Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu are never neglectful of the brahmanas, even though the brahmanas are sometimes unqualified. According to Vedic civilization, a descendant of a brahmana family should never be heavily punished. This was exemplified in Arjuna's treatment of Ashvatthama. Ashvatthama was the son of a great brahmana, Dronacharya, and in spite of his having committed the great offence of killing all the sleeping sons of the Pandavas, for which he was condemned even by Lord Krishna, Arjuna excused him by not killing him because he happened to be the son of a brahmana.
Well, we know where she stands on this one.
The word Brahma Bandhusu used a significant. Brahma Bandhu means a person who is born of a Brahmana father, but whose activities are not up to the standard of the Brahmanas. Such a person is not a Brahmana but a Brahma Bandhu. Daksha proved himself to be a Brahma Bandhu. He was born of a great Brahmana father, our Lord Brahma, but his treatment of Lord Shiva was not exactly Brahminical. Therefore, he admitted that he was not a perfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, however, are affectionate even to an imperfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva punished Daksha not as one does his enemy. Well, I'd say putting a goat's head is pretty
Well, no, that wasn't
hard.
the punishment. That was the
Cure.
that was the
rectification.
The punishment was he chopped his head off and threw it in the sacrificial fire. But
That was
let's
cool.
read what it says. He did it why? Not as a punishment of an enemy.
Rather, he punished Daksha just to bring him to his senses, so that he would know that he had done wrong.
I think in legal terms, according to police, there's something called excessive. What is it? Excessive
Violence.
not excessive violence. Yeah, no, I forget. Like excessive defense, like excessive force. That's it, excessive force. If one uses excessive force to defend oneself. But anyway.
Daksha could understand this, and he acknowledged the great mercy of Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva towards the fallen Brahmanas, including even himself. Although he was fallen, his vow was to execute the sacrifice, as is the duty of Brahmanas, and thus he began his prayers to Lord Shiva.
Thoughts?
It's like even more people coming there. This was like such a secluded place.
Yeah. But when you speak the Bhagavatam,
It seems that, it does seem, we seem to attract two-legged jivas, but two-winged jivas and four-winged creatures and Lord.
be careful.
But yeah, so yeah, I think it was quite excessive on the part of Lord Shiva.
Yeah, it definitely seems a bit more than just, something to bring him to his senses. I mean, he completely eradicated him from his capacity to experience senses. Oh, good. I'm glad we kept going until the train came. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, he removed his senses, or at least in the current head anyway, and put the goat's senses.
Yeah.
So now all he's going to be wanting to is chew some grass, I guess. Lord. I mean, it started off with Shiva being all quiet and humble, and everyone reads his pastime. They're like, look, he's not even saying anything. And his father-in-law says he's got monkey-like eyes and he's a freak and hangs around with. And then when he actually acted, he took it to, it went south pretty quickly, Lord Shiva.
To the extreme.
Yeah, it went downhill pretty quickly, didn't it? You could have just had extreme words with him, or sent one hobgoblin, but he sent the whole tribe, and you created something out of a fire and Lord.
And his wife had to get burned alive, kind of thing.
I think we'll stick to Vishnu worship.
But we certainly won't deride Lord Shiva,
No,
that's for sure.
we won't. All hail Lord Shiva. At this day, before I forget, because I do have brain fog due to old age, before I forget, and Hare Krishna to Anuradha Gopi and her husband.
Oh, Anuradha Gopi and Damodar Priya.
Damodar Priya Prabhu, who are new followers of this vlog and Bhakti Vision vlog. So
nice to spend time with you in Columbus. Hopefully you're settling in Columbus. It was great to be on a picnic with you.
Yes, and to go to
just
Columbus.
Spend time. Such wonderful, mature, sober devotees, lovely children. Oh,
it's very nice.
And we met them. If you don't remember, I don't know if we put them. Were they in the Bhakti Vision? They were certainly on the Wandering Krishnas.
Yeah.
When we went through Little Rock, Arkansas, they were so kind. that we just contacted them out of the blue, and they were happy to receive us. We had prasadam there. We did kirtan. Oh, it was so nice. Anyway, wonderful. Okay. On that note, I think we're gonna head off. One train stopped. It's an Amtrak train. One train's coming. Okay. People are having too much fun. So anyway, please read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please chant Hare Krishna and have fun. Hare Hare.